Look at this beautiful lighting. Look at this setup I got going. Let's get it, baby. No allergies. Let's go. Let's dive deep. Boom. Alright, so as you can see in the title of this video, I'm going to be discussing how essentially I pretty much cured my allergies, my hay fever. I don't have nearly any of the symptoms I used to have. Like some of the stuff I used to have around every spring and summer is I'd always have to blow my nose. When I'd wake up in the morning, my throat would be really sore, not because I didn't drink enough water, but because I couldn't breathe through my nose, because it was always stuffed. I just always had a stuffy nose, always had to hack up loogies all the time because of postnatal drip. And I'd always get sinus infections, either in the winter or at any time. I just had bad allergic rhinitis, hay fevers. So I'm going to tell you what I did. I'm not a doctor or professional or an expert. I just call myself a light worker. So with that, let's get into it. So the first thing that I did is address my leaky gut. I'm not going to get too deep into this. If you want, everything I'm saying you can pretty much find on the internet, to be honest. You got to go deep, you got to search through a lot of bullshit, but you can find it. So leaky gut is essentially, so our mouth to the anus is single-celled, like cells, epithelial cells, and every 3 to 5 days we get a new gut lining because it's always breaking down. They're slightly what's called permeable, so they're not completely like stuck together. They have some room in a sense, so that way when you chew your nutrients and the enzymes break it down into its basic building blocks of life, amino acids, glucose, essential fatty acids, they can go through the gut barrier into the bloodstream. And what happens sometimes, mainly stress on top of the other things. You know, there's many forms of stress. It's not just mental stress. You could have the stress from eating processed foods, not getting enough sleep, nutrient deficiency, all these different things can cause stress to your body. But too much of it, then you can recover from, can lead to leaky gut. And when this happens, your immune system's pretty much really down-regulated. It's not functioning properly. And the reason why this happens is that around 70 to 80% of your immune system is in your gut. So I want to stick that in your head because gut health is essential. You'll probably hear me say that all the time, whatever video I make. Gut health is key. So the first thing I did is address leaky gut / gut health. The way I did this was I did within 6 months, after the first one I did what's called a dry fast. So I did no food, no water for 3 days. And then a month and a half later, I did another one for 4 days. This is pretty extreme. I don't think you have to go to this extent, but I would, some people would say it's a little extreme to do a water fast, but honestly, we're not fucking babies, okay? Our bodies aren't babies. We can handle going 3 to 5 days without water, or without food. Water, I'm not gonna get into that. Some people can, some people can't. A lot of it's electrolytes and everything. But if you have body fat, not like you're very lean, like a bodybuilder or bikini competitor, you should be fine fast. Like, it shouldn't be a big deal. Your body goes into ketosis and use your body fat for fuel. That's what the whole keto diet thing's about. The second thing that you need to do after you fix this leaky gut, because this will help prevent leaky gut in the future in a sense, is, besides stress, fixing your microbiome. Now, if you don't know what your microbiome is, that's essentially the bacteria that live within our gut, our colon usually. There can be some that live in the small intestine and actually overgrow. It's called SIBO, but that's a different story. But that's generally common causes with all these gut dysbiosis, which means our gut bacteria aren't living in harmony with our body. So one way to do this is to fix your microbiome. Again, fasting will help a lot. Getting fermented foods. A good probiotic, there's not many good probiotics that are on the market, but one that I would highly suggest, it's called Seed. It's developed by, microbiologists and some of the head guys, like the advisors, like for example, Chris Kresser is an advisor of that, and it's a pretty solid probiotic. So if you were to look into that, definitely go with that. Start getting prebiotic foods, so that's stuff like fiber and everything, like certain types of fibers. But before you do that, you could have a lot of bad bacteria in your gut. So if you start throwing these prebiotics, these fibers, they're just gonna keep growing. So fasting will play a big part in helping regulate that. And you also might benefit from taking some antifungals and antimicrobials. Common one is oregano oil, grapeseed extract, coconut oil is huge. Like MCT oil does a really good job of that. If you're really brave, this is less scientific. This is more, you're looking into the anecdotal stuff. You can get some turpentine, not like the paint there bullshit. Like you get it from, I believe it is called turpentine black gum spirits. So you could, there are people that talk about that, like the Detox Dudes is one that advocates that. Again, do your research. I'm just trying to bring awareness to the self and help you guys out by, telling my story, how I fixed my stuff. Last thing, fix your eating habits and what you are putting in your mouth. At a bare minimum for optimal hormone and circadian rhythm health, you should be doing at least, again, bare minimum of a 12-hour intermittent fast. So if your last meal is at 8 p.m., 7 p.m., you can't eat again. Don't put any food in your mouth till 7 or 8 a.m. Keep it at that. That's very simple and basic. But if you're not someone that's, more looking to build a bunch of muscle and get a lot of food, and you're looking more for the health, then narrow that window down. I would do either an 8-hour eating window or a 6-hour eating window. Or I'm experimenting with the self personally. You could go to guys like Snake Diet where they do 1 meal a day. It all depends on your goals. What are you looking to do? And again, combine this with research. If you need resources, let me know. I can, give some. But again, this is just part of what I've done for myself to heal my allergies. But another thing that is pretty critical too, again, is eating nutrient-dense foods. One thing, I'm gonna make a separate video on this. People need to be eating their organ meats. It's ridiculous how many people are afraid to eat liver. Stop being a baby, eat liver. You don't even need a lot, it's so nutrient dense. All these people, okay, I'm gonna get into a side rant here, but all these vegans, I can tell you can get your vitamin A from sweet potatoes and carrots. It's bullshit. The reason why is because beta carotene, all these other carotenes have a substantially less conversion rate into the body. That's not even going into if you have genetic polymorphisms, like single nucleotide polymorphisms that make you even worse to convert this. So, vitamin A doesn't really as much directly relate to hay fever, although it can, because if you have nutrient deficiencies, this can make it harder for your body to heal and thrive, which is essentially what you need to do to just be in good health, is have good nutrient density, gut health, and hormonal health. The last thing you can do, if you really want to narrow down what you should do, is you can take your 23andMe data, take the raw data. It can't just be the Ancestry, it has to be the Ancestry and Health comprehensive report, or report data. You download the raw data. You gotta just Google how to download raw data from 23andMe, and you can go to someone like Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She has a comprehensive report that you could plug in her data, and it'll tell you all the different studies associated with these genetic mess-ups, these polymorphisms. So that's if you really want to narrow down your diet. And I think the biggest thing that you can do to get rid of your allergies and also to improve your health is increase your level of awareness within what you are putting in your body and when you are doing it, and the frequency and everything around food and drink, and how that affects your sinuses, or if you have achy pains or acne. For me, that's my thing. My skin will break out or anything. That is a good indicator. Just be more aware, really pay attention. And you might not know that because we're led to think that, some doctors will say you could have IBS, like irritable bowel syndrome or Crohn's disease or that's just one example, but you can go to your doctor and they'll tell you, diet has nothing to do with this, it's your genetics. Fucking bullshit, okay? I'm gonna just go out and say that is bullshit. I can promise you, your genetics play a portion. That like the Crohn's disease will only come out, or what other issue, the hay fever will only come out if you have shitty lifestyle, mechanisms in place. You're not living a lifestyle that's in accordance to your body's needs. We're so disassociated with what is normal for the human body instead of what's normal for our society. So that's my rant, that's my spiel. That is how I fixed my hay fever. As you can hear, I can breathe through my nose, both nostrils with no issues. I literally started running outside and you got all the pollen in the air and everything. And I'm literally running, no mouth, strict nasal breathing, tongue on the top of the roof of the mouth, tip at the, behind the top of the teeth for proper mouth posture and whatnot. Again, this is a rant, but if you want to know more about that, I can make a video too. But essentially, if you're dealing with hay fever or some other allergy or maybe a skin issue or whatnot, look into your lifestyle. It's not your genetics, and it is your genetics. Meaning, you have the genetic link to get this issue, but if you live a lifestyle that allows it to come and deal with the symptoms with that genetic issue, if you're living the correct lifestyle for your own body's needs, not what this fitness guru or this scientist says is best, what your body tells you is best, you'll be fine. So with that in mind, take care.